This is Patrick and Trading with Prime. Let's get into it. It is Sunday, March 14th, where we go over charts every Sunday live, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And by the way, guys, welcome if you are new. Welcome if you are not new. Feel free to hit the like button. If you gain value out of this, feel free to hit the subscribe button so you do not miss these live streams. By the way, also, it is daylight savings. Spring forward, fall back, spring forward. So don't be too shocked if you wake up tomorrow late or early. Make note of that. How's it going, Mike? We are going to let some people get into it. And meanwhile, let us go over the broad market. This is where we love to start off with. We like to go over the weekly charts. We want to see where this market is headed. If you guys noticed my last video, SPY 400. Before we begin giving price targets above 400, let's clear that area first. To be honest, we may not get over 400. I think it is highly probable at this point that we do, but it is always in the back of my mind that this could be one large bull trap. I don't think that that's what it is, but it's possible. So let us get into the weekly time frame. What we see right here is SPY weekly, which we went over a couple days ago, so I'm not going to go over it too much, but you can see the consolidation periods if I back out a little bit. All these consolidation periods, and if we think about it, this last period we saw in here from October of 18 all the way through this year, coming into this year, I take that back, end of last year. And so what we saw is we saw a breakout, September, back test, pulled up again, back in here, back tested the old highs again, and then has taken off. SPY weekly close at 395.65 was the high, 394.06 was the close. And so I don't need to pull up any other indicators. That is an all-time closing print. So because of that, there's really nothing else to look at in the SPY as far as is this bearish or bullish. There's not really a question there. This is definitely bullish now. All of the short trades should be off the table. And Friday, yeah, all of the short trades should be off of the table. I've tried a few times, not happening. Now we're definitely bullish. If you're not bullish, then maybe be neutral. Let's go over to the ES, just curiosity. ES, we are up pre-market. After hours, we're up 0.23%, the futures market. Let's take a look at NQ. NQ, we are up 0.21% after hours pre-market Sunday going into Monday. Alpha, RKT, AMC. Yes, Mike. How's it going, guys? So, this is what's interesting. You know what? I wanted to look around the broad market, but we know what the broad market's doing, right? They're all doing the same thing. RTY, even silver is up, gold is up, ES futures, NQ futures, the Dow. So, what I want to do instead is go over a possible scenario. I want us to take a look at the remember when we had this last correction on SPY, we saw this little pullback in here. The market got a little bit spooked on the interest rates. Something I wanted to point out, and as traders, we kind of have to watch for these sorts of things because sometimes the market will do things and it'll say it's, you know, the media will say it's because it's reacting to interest rates. All the people that we like to follow on YouTube will say it's because the market likes to react towards interest rates and saying that maybe they're going too high, too fast, too soon. Something I wanted to kind of look at is we noticed on Friday, the TYX, which is the 30-year. Actually, let's do a different one. Let's go to the TNX. TNX, 10-year treasury. We noticed it was a gap higher Friday, and then it just kind of ran all day and up into the close. And what's really interesting, if I go over to the QQQ kind of did the same thing. Hourly chart. Like we had a gap down in the morning on the Qs, right? And what I noticed is the Qs also ran up into the close. So something I think is a little bit interesting is the market is dynamic, and so sometimes, and the SPY did the same thing. You can kind of see here as I zoom in. Sometimes, you know, whether it was or wasn't the interest rates, the funny thing is the market usually likes higher rates. And when we saw the market getting spooked last week, and you saw this little bit of a correction in here, let me got the wrong thing on. Don't mind the screen. I got a million things going on here. We had a 5% pullback. I think it was 11% in the Qs, 5% in the SPY. correction in the Qs, correction territory. I think it's interesting though, the interest rates are continuously going up, and now the market is as well. And let's take a look at good old TLT, since those of you who are asking about TLT, we were long on TLT and we took a stop on Friday. The stop loss was posted in the Discord, and the reason why is support was broken from this reversal candle. And I'm going to zoom down here just because you see this was the reversal candle right here. Reversal candle meaning the SPY, QQQ, all the markets were selling off into this price area, and then all the markets saw, which I think was 2 Fridays ago, all the markets saw this reversal candle, or most of them saw the reversal candle, and then the following day was confirmation, and it was on heavier than normal volume, pretty insane volume. And what happened was we were creating this almost like a falling wedge pattern, which I could draw a line like this, I could draw a line like this. It was almost like a falling wedge, or another way of looking at it is it was a bear flag, and we saw that it broke down to the downside. Now, it doesn't mean it can't find support down in this area or even further downside prices, but at this point, I'm no longer in the trade or interested in the trade until we break through this trend, downtrend support. So maybe we'll bounce back up in here and do something like this and then break out. I'm interested in a trade only if and only we break out of that area right there, and I will definitely post that in the Discord. Okay, so we know what the broad market's doing. I'm still eyeing this SPY over 400. And the other thing is, just to save some time here, I want to go over the trade that I'm actually looking at. I'm looking at the Qs trade, and the reason why is because the Qs are lagging. We saw the Qs all year from the March lows pull the market with it. It's almost straight up parabolic breakout, all-time highs. It pulled the market, right? It was the leader. And now we saw the Qs to the downside. Well, we had our downside play out. And if I do this, you can see the old highs in here, right? Here's September. And it's a pretty clean breakout. It back tested once back here. It ran up to a high of 338 and has then pulled back to 300. 300 was a nice area to go long. Now, I'm not trying to chase this price out of here, and I'm going to show you where the trade setup lies. If you didn't take it on Friday, I'm going to show you where I think the best place, highest probability, lowest risk trade setup is. And let's do this. What was the one thing I wanted to go over? Well, you saw this downside move play out, right? Where it was like this pattern in here where it played down, created a bear flag, and then we had a measured move down to 300. We went long on a lot of names here, but then I took a stop loss because of the close of this following day, which was Monday's close. It was pretty ugly. And since then, it has pretty much gapped higher, and then pulled back on Friday, probably a little bit of profit taking. So what I want to do is, first of all, I want to show you guys another little tool we like to use sometimes. I don't always like to use it because it's hard to use Fibonacci, but if you do a Fibonacci from this last pivot low, which was on 1029.10 or on 11.2, the last pivot low before the breakout, all the way up to the highs at 338, you saw that it kind of pulled back in this area right here around 300. Not just the Fibonacci fans, but you also see that this was prior resistance turn support breakout, and now we are since then back tested, and we had the reversal candle on volume. What whipped me out of the trade, like I was saying, was this last day, which was Monday's close. It was nasty. I expected a further downside. Sometimes that happens. So now what do I think, to the point, what do I think the highest probability, lowest risk trade was if you didn't take it, if it wasn't a Friday and you wanted to go long on the Qs? Let me go to the hourly time frame. You could have gone long on Friday, and the reason why was you had this downtrend in here. So I'll just kind of put it up like this so you guys can see it. Definite downtrend. It had a low, it back tested the low, and it almost had like a 1, 2, 3, how did I see this in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave. And then we had a back test, right? That back test came down to our breakout area, and then is since then resuming off of there. I don't think we can say for certain that it's going to continue resuming off of there until we get above this 318 price area. So that's an area I'm looking at. I'm eyeing this 318. If we can get over 318, I'm looking to go long on the Qs. The other area, what I would prefer is another pullback down in here, maybe closer to 310, maybe whip out some traders who are long, who went long on Friday. That would be a good sign. Maybe we can whip them out of the trade, maintain support at or right around this gap in here, or the gap right up in here. And that's something I'm kind of eyeing right now. Another thing to kind of be mindful of is that you have almost like a head and shoulders pattern on the cues. Here's the left shoulder, here's the right shoulder. Are we developing or here's the left shoulder, head, right shoulder, middle finger. Here's the right shoulder. We got to be careful of this. If it breaks down, can we do a measured move to the downside? Meaning maybe it won't, maybe it will come all the way down to this level. Maybe it'll fail and go all the way to 300. But as far as a lower risk trade setup, I think it'd be waiting for it to break out above 320, maybe even a back test on a 15-minute time frame or some sort of lower time frame. Although I don't like taking trades to the long side or to the short, not necessarily on a Friday with a heavy position. But if you did get long on that back test, well done. And I would say just manage that trade. It can always come back down in here and take out these lows without, it's up to you if you want to be stopped out of that trade or not, but it could do something like that. So just watch both of those. Okay, I'm going to get off of the cues. That's where I see the trade setup. In the contract I'm looking at right now, just so you guys know, for now is this 31st of March, although I think it's too soon. I think we should be choosing a contract for the following month, April monthly contracts. We can take a look at those tomorrow, see what they look like. And this is why people may have been stopped out of this trade if they did pick up these 31 calls. The 330 calls that's a pretty hefty move from Thursday into Friday, and it since then is not really going anywhere. And of course, over the weekend, it's going to get killed in decay. Let's get off of this. Anything else you guys want to look at in the broad market? And I hope I'm not talking too fast. Also, still in silver, 331.26 call. If you can cover the silver, please. Yeah, are you? Is that the silver that we took, or the silver you're just in those silvers? We did take some silvers. We took silver along. I picked up some leaps. I picked up some shares. I do like silver as far as this pullback to. It's a pretty wide range and it kind of chops through this area. So I don't always think it's going to hold this. But I do like the price action on Friday where you see how the chart. Let's do this, so you guys can maybe see it a little bit better. I do like how we gap down. Not like I would like that we gap down. It's just sometimes the chart will do this. Will gap down. It'll pull. It'll stop out a lot of traders and then instantly be bought up. That's a good sign. I think this above 23.14 is a good area. You could also raise your stop loss to above Friday's low. But if we gap higher in the morning, maybe we'll take out these highs right here. If you're not in the trade, I would wait to get above that area as far as resistance goes. But as far as closing out the position, we could go look at those silver contracts. Be careful because as we get, and I've already closed out of those contracts, but as we get into closer to that expiration, we got to be really careful and watch our decay. And we do want to keep an eye on volatility with silver. It could start to get painful if we hold this trade and it doesn't have any movement, meaning if we continue trading sideways, it's not going to do us any favors holding those calls. We could possibly look at rotating out of the Marches. I would be looking at April, May, June, maybe even September. See what prices we can get. I bet you we can get some pretty good deals of around the $30 strike for September. But just keep in mind those ones are going to move a lot slower than, of course, the March, April contracts. But I do like this price action. I think if silver can stay above 23.13, and then something to also think about is that I see maybe a lot of money's moving to crypto instead of silver and gold. I would have to say between gold and silver, I think the better position would be silver. I think there's a lot better price action in silver. As far as gold, we're still consolidating in this wide range coming down here from 194.45. You see this giant bull flag or downtrend sloping channel, which I believe if you're an Elliott waiver, you could somehow draw. I don't know how you would draw, but you could probably draw 5 waves in here. I do like that we took out this area down here as far as, again, maybe we want to take out some stop losses before the institutions will buy it up. It was probably at a very good area to go long, but that's, again, trader's choice. I like to personally wait for the momentum, not necessarily high momentum, but wait for the other buyers to show up first before we get involved. Let somebody else be the hero and catch the knife and get involved that way. Let's go over to a couple of positions I wanted to show you guys, and then we'll get into your charts. Who is excited about getting the 500% runs this week? Okay, so let's get into. I'm going to show you guys a few things. I'm looking at Apron. So we're taking a look at Blue Apron on the daily time frame. Excuse me 1 second. Let me turn off this heat because I'm dying in here. By the way, guys, I got this chirp wheel for those of you who remember, I got this chirp wheel from the lady on Christmas. Phenomenal on your back if you are going into your boomer stages of life. Phenomenal chirp wheel. Look it up. It's not sponsored. Okay, so APRN. I like this chart. I like the types of run up. I think a lot more people are going to be eating at home, and I don't mean like locked down at home. I just mean eating in general, eating healthier. Maybe not eating out as much. The weekly time frame, though, I don't necessarily like the trend of the overall trend, but I do like the price action off of the $2 price area, and we've kind of rallied up here and then traded sideways. You see a lot more going on this year, a lot more going on between 19 and 2021 than you have. This looked really ugly. I think the chart was trading a little bit ahead of its time. I think now is maybe a good time to start looking at possibly leaps, or actually not leaps, possibly just picking up shares for the long haul. I think we can start picking up shares and aiming for this. I don't want to start giving price targets for this $28 range, but I think you'd have to be really patient with this one. I do like how we pull back here. We did a little bit of back testing in here. Now we're rallying. I'd like to see as intermediate time frame. I'd like to see us get over these moving averages. I don't necessarily like this kind of price action where it's trading, chopping through the moving averages, but I do like it that support held. And if we can get going here above this area, above $9, I think we can quickly see ourselves up here to the $12 price area. I don't know if this will be for this week, but maybe we'll see in the next couple weeks. ETWO, another one that I'm looking at. Why am I looking at this one? IPO. I do like that. If I put it on the hourly time frame, I do like, this is how I like to play these, where you let the chart do its thing, and we're going to get to roadblocks in a second, but where you let the chart, let it do its thing, let the traders figure it out, let the price discover itself, let it find itself. We could draw 500 trend lines in here and decide which one fits best for our needs, or instead of doing that, we could just simply draw it across like this. I'm not sure if I like this triangle pattern, but I do like that it is bouncing, it is knocking on the door of resistance. I love that about this chart. And if we can see ourselves over the $10 price area, I think we can then go long. It's enough time away from this chop back here to where we could go long and start to eyeing maybe these potential resistance, maybe around 10.50. Maybe we can get 50 cents out of this. Maybe we can get up here to the IPO price. ETWO. MKC, I like this one. Let me go to the daily time frame. Same kind of behavior. In fact, we put it on the weekly time frame. It's an uptrend on the weekly time frame. Higher highs, higher lows. Pretty nasty sell-off back in March. Like a lot of the charts, put in a high of 105. It's since then pulled back. And if I did a drawdown, pulled back 20% into bear market territory. Let me zoom in a little bit, but it's not exactly rejecting, right? You see the difference? It's not completely selling off. Like, some of this is ugly, but it's not tremendous amount of sell off, even though we are down 20% from the highs. But I do like how price has since then traded sideways. It came down in here and it has since then found support. I don't like that it's down below these moving averages. So just like the other one that we saw, I would like to see it get above this area here. And more importantly, I would like to see it maybe even get above $95. If we can see it run up here, pull back, let all the other traders figure this one out. If it can get above $95, set an alert. That would be maybe a good one to look at. QS, we're back at looking at QS. In and out of this one, we do like how it ran up to 132. It has since then pulled back quite a bit. We do have to be mindful of why it traded off almost down 70%. But the fact is that it did find support, and now we are finding this range in here where it's starting to coil up again, which is what we want to see. We want to see this coil behavior. It gives us an area to go ahead and set price targets as far as what alert do I want to use, where do I want to see this price get above this area, and I think above $70 is a buy all day, and I think we can immediately target $85, maybe even up here to even $100. Time will tell, but I definitely like QS. AMGN, I like AMGN as far as I like the run up to 276, the pullback. It's another one of those ones that's kind of coiling up, so maybe a little bit of patience with this one. Let's put it on the weekly. Uptrend on the weekly, and you can kind of see why it found support in here if I do this. Right? It's at support. So this could be one of those things where, you know what, I'm going to buy this just on the merits it's at support, but I do like the overall uptrend on the weekly time frame. So I'm not sure if you'd want to go with leaps on this one, or if you would just pick up the shares. Again, keep in mind it's $230 a share, so it might not be the best runner unless you have $1 million in your account. So maybe the leaps. Apple, just like the Qs, what I'm waiting for Apple, what is it, a 10 or 11 or 12 or 14% in the NASDAQ? I'm looking for Apple to break out. If Apple can break out, I think it'll pull the Qs up with it. And guess what? Maybe we can see a little bit of rotation from the dash for trash, the IWM. Maybe we can see rotation back into tech. We will see. I think that we could see rotation into tech and into the biotech area. Those are the ones that need to catch up a little bit here, especially if SPY is up and over $405 a share or $400 a share. I think the Qs might have a chance. For Apple, I'm looking for a... We don't need to be the first ones in this. Let's just zoom in a little bit here and see what we can see on the chart. I don't like this price action the last couple of days. This looks like it's bearish consolidation from a downtrend where you see it rolling down here. Now it looks like it's trading sideways almost. That's why for Apple, I'd want to see a breakout, and we could do something like, sometimes this is easier. We could do it like this. Same with the other ones. Make it a higher probability trade setup. Wait for the other buyers to carry this thing above resistance, and then we could aim to go long on it. I think there's a little bit of time with Apple, and that way you're not buying it just underneath resistance, and there's a possibility it can still sell off, right? So I think we could wait for the other traders to do the dirty work. Qs, we know my outlook on that. NEP, I'll go through two more here. NEP, ARC, and Roblox. So NEP, I do like this pullback. It was a pullback of almost 30% bear market, but it's a pullback in a monster uptrend, 27 point something percent. We found support down in here. And not only that, the support was at previous high. So if I go back to the daily chart, you can kind of see where this area acted as resistance. And since then it has broken out, pulled back and back tested, not only at support, but it was a breakout back test of this prior breakout area. And so for that reason, I don't like the time frame right in here where it's lower highs, lower lows, but I do like this bullish overall pattern. And I think that if we can start to see a little bit of consolidation in here, same thing, I would be waiting for a breakout above this area, and I'll give you a price of $76. ARC, you guys know how I have felt about ARC the entire run up. You guys notice I have not been playing ARC, and I was waiting for some air to come out of some people are going to get offended. I was waiting for some air to come out of the bubble, and it has. We're down 30%. We've already let other buyers step in here and do the dirty work. Now let's see what happens here. Let's see if ARC can do a little bit of consolidation. Let's see if this can become a higher low as opposed to this one down here. If this is a higher low, I see some consolidation, and we can get above this price area right in here. I'd be looking to go long, and that would be the first time in a really long time I've traded this one. I do like the look of this chart. I think it'd be wise to follow Tesla and a lot of the other names that we think are, I really shouldn't call it a bubble. All the other names that we think have been bought up since the March lows. I think that we could see money coming back into these areas. So definitely keep ARC on the list. Okay, last one, Roblox, and we'll get into your guys' charts. Roblox, like I was saying, like we saw with I think it was APRN. What did we look at? Was it APRN? No. ETWO. So Roblox, what are we waiting for, right? We're waiting for other traders to do the hard work. Right now, we have a bull flag on the hourly time frame, and I'm definitely looking to pick up this name. As far as long-term, I think it has a lot of room. If you guys have kids or if you know anyone, there's a lot of money I think that can be made in this area, and a lot of in-app purchases and things like that. I think we can definitely see a bull flag on the hourly. If you're interested in taking a trade out of here, by all means. I am personally not interested just yet. I still want to see some time develop, or I can begin seeing a pattern emerge on the daily chart. Right now, I don't have much of one to go off of. I have a low and a high, and we're trading about in the middle. So I want to see a little bit of time in here. But as far as day trades, I think there's enough information on the chart now to take these day trades. I think you can absolutely take them. I'm interested in holding it long term. I'd love to pick up the prices around $64. I don't know if that's going to happen. But we will see in the near future. They're talking really fast. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to clear out the screen from the ones we've been looking at, and we will go over your guys' charts really quick. There's a few other charts I'm interested in. Those are the ones I kind of saw as far as there might be some good ones. I think the Qs might be a good one this week. I want to see what happens on turnaround Tuesday first, and then of the RVLX or the Roblox. Okay, let's go back to the beginning here. Let's take a look at AFA. Let me have a sip of coffee here. Okay, so AFA, let's take a look at the daily time frame. Again, like we were talking about last week. Well, I don't know what we were talking about last week, but I've already forgotten. I think it'd be wise to look at the MJ sector. I think we can definitely draw trends in here. I think we can draw one off of here. Maybe this is a back test off from a breakdown. That's one scenario. Maybe this is, well, this is definite resistance because you have the reversal candle here and it's a lower high, 3 lower highs in a row. Is this going to be a 4th lower high? That remains to be seen. However, I don't think so. I think what we're looking at for AFA, I think there's enough motivation right now and run up in this name to where we could see a breakout, but I don't know if it'll come tomorrow. Maybe we'll have a little bit of a pull out, fake out, and then we'll begin getting above $20. If you're not in this trade yet, I'd be looking for a clear break over $20, and then you can begin immediately targeting these upper areas around $24. If you are in this trade and been holding it, there's no reason, I don't think, to sell it. You could even wait for a little bit of a pullback, 9% pullback, maybe even a 10% pullback before taking profit. I'm the kind of trader who likes to let the trade play out, so I'm not the kind that likes to just book profit immediately. I'd rather be stopped out of the trade, but that's up to you if you want to book profit, maybe on half. RKT, we love RKT. Let's take a look here. Daily chart. It's not looking too hot on the daily chart as far as this last run up goes. We wanted to see price stay above 25.68, and we definitely want to see price stay above this gap at 23.19, and thus it has stayed above this gap at 23.26-ish. However, on the daily chart, it looks like this could be a bear flag, and that's not something that we want to see. We don't want to see a bear flag coming down from this area down here. And I wouldn't necessarily do a measured move all the way down to this price area down here. I think there's enough interest in this to where it could just be a fake out. And what I would want to see is maybe one more down day, some sideways consolidation. Remember the smiley face? That's what we want to see, is a smiley face. It's possible we gap higher, but this is a lot of resistance in this area. You see there's several candles here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles, all showing signs of selling. The short sellers or profit taking, whatever you want to call it, are definitely pushing prices down several days in a row. I'd be mindful of that. However, the good news is that you have a clear and evident sign of somewhat of a bottom in here, and it's from this area right here down to this area right here, to where if you are in this trade, you could easily take a stop loss, minimizing risk. If we did go through that area, I think we're going to come at least down to 21.37. To the upside, if we get above this, if we can clear all this resistance up through $28, I think we can keep climbing up this breakdown candle, which is this red one right here. I'd be targeting halfway up that breakdown candle, and then I would be targeting maybe the opening print or the high of that breakdown candle as far as targets go. AMC 8%. You see the curving of the smiley face. I've been out of AMC for a while. I think that there's nothing on the chart that says you have to close the position, but I also would say be very careful taking long trades on these extended prices. And it doesn't look extended because you have this price action back here, but if you were to zoom into the hourly time frame, I think we could put a trend in here and wait to go long. Let the chart come to the price that you want to pay, not a price that you're chasing momentum out of this, because one day you're going to wake up and you're going to have a candle that looks like this. And so for that reason, I would personally wait for the dip buy, but a better dip, or wait for consolidation sideways, or wait for a breakout after consolidation above 11.20. Beautiful run up though. Nothing on there that says that it's a good idea to sell just yet though. TLT went over, silver went over. Let's put them on here just because. How's it going, Carl? SFT? Is that what I see? I like SFT. So for something like this, like I would have wanted to get on the dip buy. We are up about 40% in the last week. or I want to wait for consolidation. We're probably going to see something like this where you see sideways consolidation. We might see that again right here in the next, within this next week. So for me, I personally like to take trades either out of the consolidation or like to pick up the shares or options at the bottom of the consolidation. The problem with buying in the middle of a consolidation period is that you could always break down, which would kill the contracts coming down to this lower level, because they would still be a bullish in the overall picture, but bearish as far as your entry. So you just got to be careful. If you're already in this trade, I see no reason to start closing it out just yet, but let's look at the weekly time frame. A lot of chop, right? So overall, this is a bullish pattern overall on the last, basically since this candle here, 1123, bullish pattern. I just think that the chart might need a little bit more time in here, right? But if it does break out to the upside, just be mindful how much it's already run this past week. Like I was saying, it's 35% this past week. Pretty wide range. Trit. I try to stay away from ones that are kind of like this. Like, I think it's possible, and I don't know if you're bearish or bullish, but I would be more bearish on this name than I would be bullish, just looking at the weekly time frame. Looking at the daily chart, I do see reversal down here on the daily. Like, maybe it wants to break out here. Now it's a little bit more clear on the daily that maybe there's something like this. And if this is the case, from a down move down here on 586 and it is now in bullish consolidation, I would definitely be waiting for a breakout. But the run up from the downside, 40%, but it's also could be this is a pretty hefty move, down 60%, and then we're back up 40%. I would want to see consolidation out of this and then possibly the breakout, and then taking that breakout back test resumption kind of thing. JW. Yeah, that coffee's got me good. Now I'm not going to sleep tonight. If you're in it, stay in it. If you're not in it, just be mindful where it's coming from. We are in a breakout though, so it can definitely keep running higher. These aren't my kind of trades. I don't like to chase the momentum. It broke to the upside above this channel, so that's good news. Maybe it'll have a little bit of consolidation in here. For me, I would have wanted to get in back down here or above this breakdown candle, which is, I don't even know what the date of this candle is, but it's back in here. I would have wanted to go long back in there. Because of the type of run up it is, though, I'd want to see consolidation before, even though it could get parabolic here. I mean, we could run up to 50 easily. Just be careful of those ones. SQ. SQ probably have a little bit of upside coming into tomorrow. I do like this look where it did find support down in here. It ran up and now it's trading sideways. I would not be surprised to see a gap higher. I don't think it'll gap over this price area right here. So I'll give you the price is around 248, though it's possible. If we gap into that area, let's say hypothetically we wake up tomorrow and we gap, let's say we open up the day just underneath resistance. I would not go long. I think it'd be higher probability to take a short trade, although because of the name SQ, I would not want to take a short trade, but I would want to wait for it to clear that resistance first and then take the resumption out of the back test if there is a back test. Or another thing you can do is just wait for it to consolidate at current price and pick up shares or contracts with enough time on them to where if it broke down through this area, because this is always a possibility, it could break down through the area, come back and back test before resuming back up here. So I do like this overall pattern. It's definitely a bullish behavior compared to bearish behavior. And maybe crypto will help this out over the weekend. AONE. No reason to get out of this though if you're in it. And well done if you're holding that one. Same kind of scenario where just being mindful of where it's coming from. I do like the run up. It's got quite the little run up here, and it looks like the sellers showed up, probably going in for a back test of this breakdown candle. And for something like this, because of the type of run up it just had, I know we had a high of 15 down to this low of 10, and now we're back halfway. So either one of two things is happening. Either this is an A, B, even though the B shouldn't really go past the A, and now it's working on a C is one scenario. The other one is a A, B, C is another scenario. So for that reason, I would want to see consolidation to stay above the moving averages. And after enough consolidation, then set the alert for the breakout and just kind of watch for the breakout. In my opinion, I don't like the selling of Friday though, necessarily. Now that could have just been profit taking. On the hourly chart, I see something different. On the hourly chart, what I see is a clear uptrend. Bull flag, bull flag, bull flag, bull consolidation. And so by the time everybody and their mother and brother and family dog notice the bull flag consolidation, sometimes that's when it fails. But for now, we have to treat it as we see it. And what we see is bullish consolidation in here. So maybe it will flag up again. If it does, there's definitely going to be some resistance up here around $13. You want to put some on Discord? Yes, please. PSLV. Or is that please? Are you saying please? Please LV. Oh, PSLV. Bearish consolidation the last couple days. Let me go to the daily chart. Daily chart, I do like that it's above, and this is silver. I do like that it's above, you know, we could almost draw a trend in here. I would prefer SLV. I mean, this is the physical silver. I don't know the background behind this. Like, what does it cost? What does it cost to, you know, if it's a silver trust, physical silver trust, what does it cost to hold? I'm not sure that I like this. This was the old Wall Street bets. They try to pump silver, which is never going to happen because it's silver. And you saw bearish consolidation in here. It broke down again. Now I see bearish consolidation and maybe even a breakdown. It needs to get up. It needs to get up and above this area right here. And it's having a hard time doing that. $9.40. It's really having a hard time doing that. But if it can, I think higher prices are definitely possible. Yeah, I like silver more than gold. I mean, gold we can accumulate though. I think both of them we really could, but AMD, you guys know how long, if you guys have been following me a while on AMD, I still think that $100, I don't believe that this is all it had to offer. Really? We made it to $99.23. You couldn't break 100. I feel like it would need to suck in some more bulls and give us one last push above 100. Maybe just need a little bit more time. This isn't exactly a sell-off. It could just be profit taking. We're down 25%. Bear market, back test the old support, and now we're rallying here. We're coiling up. I do like this. If you put a anchored VWAP on here, you might see this coiling up a little bit more depending on where you anchored the VWAP from. And I do like this price action, but I would want to see further evidence. And for me, that evidence would be a higher low, which could be what it's developing right now, or it could be sideways consolidation with a breakout. I think we still need a little bit more time away from this last breakdown in this area. We need more time to get away from that area. It's almost like a magnet. The closer we are to that breakdown, the higher likelihood that the price is going to have a hard time getting above it. So it needs to consolidate a little bit. But I do like overall bigger picture. If you picked up the shares now, I think by the end of the year we can see over 100 easily. Whoops. So weekly time frame, it just came back into the support range, and I honestly don't know if that's bullish or bearish. Right? They had a breakout and it failed. Normally that would be more bearish than bullish, but I think that it's okay. It hasn't been here in a while, so maybe that's just a simple back test of the 50-week moving average. ZM. I like Zoom on the, I mean, Zoom is kind of one of those things, like on the weekly time frame, it had a breakdown and now we're trading sideways. Now, if I zoom in a little bit, it might not look like that. And of course, air did come out of this thing because it's down 46%, which was kind of like, we kind of figured that would happen at some point. We just didn't know when. Economy's coming back, although I think Zoom is here to stay, right? Let's wait for that smiley face on the weekly. Let's go to the daily. Daily chart, this is pretty nasty, and like I was saying, like this is pretty recent, so it might need time away from that area. Price needs to get away from that area, and then it can begin getting higher prices in here. But for something like this, I would wait for the higher prices, or you could simply buy it at support. And if I do something in like that, you could wait for price to get to that area, create another higher low before you took on a trade. Just, yeah, the thing is once you get above Fridays and Thursdays highs, you're going to be right into these moving averages and the breakdown candles. Definitely some resistance in this area. Ton of resistance in this whole area right here. So just be careful with that one. AYRO. I feel like we traded this one recently, didn't we? AYRO, I like the weekly time frame. This is, I feel like, one that have to be patient. It's creating bearish consolidation as far as this last couple weeks. To me, this breakdown through what should have been support, and now it looks like a back test. Overall, I think in the last 3 or 4 weeks, just this price pattern right here is bearish to me more than it is bullish. Although we are above the moving averages, so it's hard to say that that's bullish or bearish. Now on the daily chart, I see something a little bit different. We did find support in here. It was at a breakout area, and I'm going to go ahead and highlight that right here. It came down to back test the breakout area. Not only that, but it's the 200 period moving average on a bearish candle. Not on heavy volume though, which is something to note. And this overall run up isn't on a ton of volume, not volume like we saw back here. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on. I don't think it's the end all be all, volume. I don't think that is the end all for this thing, but like a lot of the charts that we've seen today, I think I would want to wait for price to break out. Being careful of the run up of 56% already. It can definitely keep running higher, but it might need a few more days to do that. Let's go to the lower time frame. Hourly chart, same thing. I don't know if I like, is this a dead cat bounce? Is this a 1, 2, 3 pattern? It's hard to tell right now. That's a pretty hefty move, 50%. So I'd want to see consolidation in here first to get over this resistance. Taking a trade over the resistance creates the higher probability setup. FDX, what's up, Supa? Did I just put FDC? Good old FedEx. Good old FedEx. Beautiful. Beautiful. Amazing. The smiley face, right? Smiling at us. That's what we want to see. It's over this huge area. And we know that this is going to be more than a one-day wonder because of the time in here. See the amount of consolidation in here? Once we get the breakout, that's a lot of people covering. That's a lot, maybe even people back here, right? So that's a lot of people back here covering. That's people in here covering. That's these guys. Everyone's going to cover. And the type of consolidation this is what we want to see. Now we have a breakout. I think we can begin looking at higher prices. Price target first would be this area right here, which I will give you price in a second. The next one is this gap up here. You know what? Let's do this since you guys are being so patient today. Smash that like button. Thank you. Okay, so first consolidation area. Let's look at this. Let's look at this really quick. It's into the first one. Here is the second area of consolidation or consolidation resistance. Here's another one. And let's not look at beyond that. And I'll give you prices. It's into the first one right now. So maybe we'll see another turnaround or let's say Monday. Let's say Monday flat, Tuesday pullback to the gap, and then Wednesday breakout. That's really speculative. But anyway, you're gonna have resistance around here around 273, 275, and up to around 284. If you can get above 275, I think you have a clear shot up to 284. Right? Beautiful, beautiful. Where was our alert? Super. Where was the alert? IWM. We went over IWM. Please go back to the beginning of the video when we're done. After it buffers. Wait, did we go over IWM? Well, no, I lied. I think we said bullish. It's gonna keep going higher. Here's the thing. I'm not looking to take a trade out of this though. It's already ran 12.5%. I'm looking for consolidation now, but I think this is a clear and evident sign that the market is risk on. I think that we'll see higher prices across the board. This is a definite breakout on the weekly and daily charts, printing all-time highs. Dash for trash. They call it the Widowmaker. Be careful shorting it. Be careful going long at this point. RIVE. You guys have a lot today. Did we go over RIVE yet? RIVE, I like this scenario. Same kind of thing. We're up 16% from the last pivot, so maybe we'll see a little bit of consolidation here. I don't like the volume, and I don't even know what the volume is yet, but volume 15,000. I usually do a minimum of around 500,000 volume, but it doesn't mean you can't. It doesn't mean that you can't make really good money in these environments. It just means that sometimes you might have a hard time getting filled or not filled at a good price, and you'll possibly see gaps, a lot of gaps with price. So just be careful. We're into some overall broad resistance in here. Now it is Financial Corp. I don't even know how they track this, but we can definitely say if the interest rates are going to continue higher, it's higher likelihood that this is going to continue higher, maybe targeting up here around this 1152. And as we get closer to 1152, it's going to start acting like a magnet, pulling price up to it. And let me go back to the daily chart. I think that this last run up, I'd want to see consolidation before I'd see a breakout above 1020 or a higher likelihood of going to 1070 and 1150. Dash. It's been a while since we played Dash. Okay. It's got to stay above 138.17. And so far, what we see is bearish consolidation on the daily chart. And the only thing that makes it bearish, well, not only is it below all three moving averages, but not counting moving averages. Take those off the chart for a second. Lower highs, lower lows. Oh, I need like one of those beeps so I can beep myself out when I swear or say a bad word. Lower highs, lower lows, and we had a down move, right? So we just got to be careful out of this. So if I was to go long, I would put up a thing and say if it can get over resistance. Make it simple, make it easy. Over 150. Make it simple, right? Over 150, I'd love to take a trade out of that. But knowing that we're going to come into resistance around 159. And here is your weekly reversal candle. And here's the higher low at 50% retracement up that candle. So technical analysis, and here, this candle right here, we knew that it was going to have lower prices because it closed below the low of this last 5 weeks in here. Another lower low, another lower low. Although this last lower low was a reversal candle on heavy volume, which is a good sign that that could be a reversal. So I will watch Dash. Thank you for this. I like trading it. ATH, all-time high on GLW. Definite all-time high. Oh, 132? Oh. Thank you for bringing that up. So that changes it a little bit. And the reason why is because I would look at it, for one, you have the higher lows, higher highs. You could draw something in here with trends going up like this and say there could be some resistance up in here in the current price. There's also horizontal resistance coming across here, which is why there was a lot of consolidation in this area. It pulled back and now it ran up to this area. Here's the thing. If we can start getting up this breakdown candle, which is on the monthly time frame, the higher we can get up this candle, we can begin targeting the highs of that candle, which are let's just say it's around 60 bucks. Let's say that. However, with that said, so maybe there isn't. Maybe there's not a lot of resistance in here. And I'm the kind that likes to wait for pullbacks or consolidation. If you're already in this trade, I'd be targeting those higher prices. But if you're not in the trade, just be careful, because we're already up 13%. Doesn't mean it can't run up there fast. And we know that if it does start getting up there, it will begin targeting these higher prices. As it gets going here, it'll start getting sucked up to that price area around 57, 60 bucks. Maybe some resistance around there and up at $74 resistance. SSYS. SSYS. This is the monthly. We have a monthly reversal candle last month. And let's go down to the weekly time frame. Weekly time frame, we have some selling off here, or it's a back test. We don't know yet. Let's go to the daily time frame. Daily time frame, we have a pullback drawdown of 62%, which is golden. We love the 62%, but not only that, where do you guys find these charts, man? I need a new this is the ideal area to buy for several reasons. You have prior consolidation in here, and you had a breakout through this area on heavy volume. So what do we like to see on heavy volume? We like to see pullbacks, which is this, to the heavy volume area of the last breakout. And that's kind of what you're seeing in here. You're seeing a lot of buying step in here. Now we're rallying away from this area. Now what we're looking for is a higher low on a daily time frame, which could look something like that. I think there's going to be some resistance in here, but if it can create the higher low or sideways consolidation, creating a bull flag, then I could be interested in taking a price through this gap for a gap fill of $32 roughly. Let's go to the hourly. Hourly time frame, we see higher lows, higher highs on an hourly. We are now seeing that sideways consolidation. So maybe tomorrow we can wake up, and if price finds itself above this area, if it back tests, it doesn't have to back test, but let's say price finds itself above gap higher in the morning, I would want to kind of follow it and see what price does. We know that there's going to be some resistance around this area right here, so I don't want to take a trade right into resistance. But if it can gap higher above Friday and Thursday's highs, which is having a little bit of trouble here, so maybe tomorrow we'll wake up, it'll be gap higher, or we'll see tomorrow it'll just be in this consolidation area. And if that happens, I think it's perfectly safe to pick up shares or options in that area. Okay. Wait. Where are we at here? I lost my place. Where was I at? Did I skip over a bunch of people's stuff here? Oh, SSYS. A pop. Let me catch up on, let me do some comments really quick, and then I'll go back to this, because that way I can save some people some time here. I don't have after hours, Mark. Remind me to go back to I mean, I can see after hours is at 1335, 1345, which would be, oh, it is all the way up here already. So it's already into resistance, but let me turn it on. Okay, after hours, we're into that resistance area of, call it $14. So it already blew through the first 2 or 3. Now we're into $14. I do like this rising thing, higher lows, higher highs, and now we just broke out. So if we can follow, maybe we'll have a runner tomorrow, and maybe we can find ourselves running this thing up tomorrow. I want to follow this one in the morning, because maybe we can see some sideways action overnight tonight, and it already did the work and got over that resistance. A1. Okay, where was I at? SSYS. Oh, APOP. APOP is up after hours. And we had a breakout. See, where do you guys find these? Nice. Okay, so let's do this. Let's go back to the daily. That's where I like to start. Daily chart, higher prices, $4.11 to the upside, and then $4.09. I mean, this thing might run though, as a thing. So it's at 390 right now. 426, 475, 540. Stay in it until you're not. Beautiful chart. I like it. For me, I would want to see consolidation, or I could take a day trade out of this tomorrow. Let's say we follow it in the morning. If I can get a little bit of a pullback down to 375, I definitely want to take a trade out of this. Or if I can get above $4.11, I'd be willing to take a trade out of it. Vayek. What's up, Nick? And let me turn after hours on, because I don't like it. I just don't like it. Nick, why couldn't we get this alert when we were at $55? Huh? That's what we want to know. Parabolic. So we're at resistance right now of $95, and so after hours it's a bid and ask 95, 95.40, and we're gonna have some resistance up here at 102 and definitely some 107. But I'd be targeting this 107 area, just under $110, right? We can see this area down in here. It's headed somewhere. not want to take this kind of a trade, but if you're in this bad boy, amazing. Amazing. Just beautiful. I mean, right out of these consolidation areas, which is what you want to see. And you could really go long after these consolidation areas. So what I'd be looking for is another consolidation area. Let's see if it can go do it one more time. Bumble. I picked up a bad contract, I think, for this the other day. I feel like, because I don't remember which ones we bought. Like, we were right in the direction, but the contract wasn't doing anything. In any event, I don't like what I don't like are the lower highs. 1, 2, 3. I don't necessarily like that. But if I go to a lower time frame, I do like it found support at 57. We have almost like a tweezer bottom on the daily chart. Now we created a higher low, or we are in the midst of creating we created one here. Now we're in the midst of creating another higher low, and it was a gap fill candidate. So we could have went long on this on Friday. I don't like the indecision, like price ran all the way up to this area and then closed back below Thursday's low, or back below Thursday's open and close. I don't like where price closed at. But I do like the overall that this is becoming a pattern. I like that. Let's go to a lower time frame. Lower time frame, I do like. See, now the chart looks a little bit better. You start to see the smiley face in there. It's coiling up here. You can definitely see the higher highs, higher lows. You found support in here. Now we're creating a bull flag. So if we can break out above Friday's high, I'd be willing to take a long trade, but keeping in mind that we'll come into some resistance around 73.18 and then definitely around $76, both of those scenarios. But we've already been to this 76 area once, and a little bit of technical analysis for you guys. We've already been there once, not only once, we've been there twice. So because we ran up there once recently, pulled back, if we run up there again, it's almost like we're knocking on the door trying to get through resistance, which is a good sign. MU. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is like, the bad news, when the bad news comes out, it comes out, right? But when the good news comes out, it comes out. Here's MU, here's AMD, right? We see a little bit of bearish in I don't like this. To me, it looks bearish, more bearish than it does bullish. I see like more downside in this one, personally, just looking at this. But it doesn't mean we can't continue, like that this wasn't support. I do see what could be a head and shoulders in here. There's the head, there's the left shoulder, right shoulder, only if and when we break down through the neckline. But this pattern here, the volatility in this and the overall bearish, to me, it looks like a bear flag, as opposed to AMD, right? AMD looks like it found support, but again, this could be a bear flag. This could be a dead cat bounce, and that's where we have to be careful as trader. Remember the curve that we saw? When we see a chart curling like this, we're going long. When we see the chart curling like this, are we going long? And so that's my only issue with both of these. The semis and that index in general, if I go to the SMH, you can kind of see a little bit of weakness, right? So that's a little bit concerning. Maybe the supply lines or whatever they are, maybe there's some issues going on. Here's the left, here's the head. Is this a right shoulder? Well, we don't know yet. If you were going to go long on any of these, we're getting close to that time period where it's a make it or break it for these overall. So I think risk versus reward, you're close to support. I think it's possible. I just want to see higher prices before attempting to go long on a lot of these names. I hope that makes sense. Personally, TSM. So I don't know. I like AMD out of all of them, but so AMD, TSM. Well, they all kind of look the same. MU, but the difference is AMD is in the Qs. So AMD's traded in the Qs. I don't know about MU. We could look it up. FDX ER this week, that might be the push to beautiful things. Know in your guys' heart, we're gonna kill it this week. Know that in your heart. What NYPO do you like better, RBLX or CPNG? CPNG. My thing is like I want to see what this does and where's this company from. If we did a little Google search right now, I would want to see. I'd want to know a lot more about the company. But as far as the chart, the Roblox looks a lot better to me compared to this chart. Of course, you only have 2 days of information. This is what makes IPOs really, really hard is you have 2 days of information. Here's CPNG. Here's RBLX, right? You see the difference? So which one looks more bullish, you know? Where did it go? What was it? C what? CPNG. But look at 4 hour, 8 hour on this one. Okay. Len. Okay, so Len is looking pretty good. I like this pattern right here. I'm not sure I like the volume, which I don't know what it is yet, but let me take a look here. Oh, volume's good. It just doesn't. Why does it look so choppy in here? Well, it's at support. So now the question becomes, is this a higher low? We know why traders went long, right? We know that we saw the breakout. This was maybe this was a falling wedge. Who knows? Who cares? It broke out. Now and then it came down to back test and then it rallied. I don't think this is a dead cat bounce. I don't think that this is a down move, dead cat bounce, and now it's going to roll over. What it looks like to me is that this was just a simple back test. We're rallying here. Now the chart is looking for a higher low. So let's wait for it to create that higher low in here, wherever that is. Maybe it's right here. And once we can get a higher low there and confirmed higher low, then go long. I don't know with this kind of chart if you would want to wait for higher prices before going long. I think it's okay to accumulate the shares in here. Just the only thing you got to be careful about is we're pretty far away from a stop loss. Like if we go long here, where are we going to put the stop loss? That's one thing that we'd have to kind of watch. Let's go to a lower time frame, hourly chart, lower time frame, and you see what I mean? Like we had a pretty good ride out of here. Now the profit takers are coming in because this was a breakout. Profit takers are coming in here. Let me. Now you can see it a little bit better, right? So here's the breakout. Price broke through, hit this area. Now it's creating a bull flag. We can accumulate shares on the bottom of the bull flag. Maybe we'll have our stop loss right here. That's where we have to really ask ourselves 86.26. The reason why I don't like sometimes doing that is because price could just as easily do this, take out the stop loss, and then rally here. So I don't know. It's a trade that if I'd want to have seen this thing on the breakout above the moving averages, now it's consolidating. Wait, ride. You guys are giving me too many here. Ride. I'm just teasing. No, there is no such thing as too many. At some point we'll have to end this. I like the pullback to. You guys wanted ride, right? That's what your ride just was accused of fraud. Really? Well, we don't like fraud. Okay, but the interesting thing is it pulled right back to a breakout area. Maybe, I mean, it was a small breakout area, but nonetheless, it was a breakout area and prior consolidation in here. So it's interesting that for whatever reason, it's down in here. You have heavy volume. But you know me, when charts sell off like this, I personally like to wait for like at least 3 days to see what price does. I don't like to purchase it the day of because a lot of times you'll see it fall right through. I like to wait for the support to actually be visible on the chart, on the daily chart. Look at the hourly time frame. I'm also not 100% in love with this kind of pattern or this kind of chop. Heavy volatility. And now if I zoom in just a little bit more, you can kind of see on the hourly time frame, it is creating a bear flag in here. So I don't necessarily like that. After hours, it's up though, $15. If we can get above of Friday's high, maybe we'll start eyeing that gap fill up to 18. But I just think there's better. I just feel like there's better trades is all. I don't mean any offense to that. I just feel like there's a better setup somewhere. Yeah, found not guilty of the lawsuit, which a lot of times you'll see that happen. is, you know, they're getting sued or whatever. And then next thing you know, it was all just a short sellers report beating down the stock. I'm just curious here. Let me go to the weekly time frame. I just feel like, how do you trade this? Carl, you're gonna have to help me with this. I don't know how to trade this. It's at support. Do we want to be the first ones in? Yes, why do you think it's gone to 3 years ago? Okay. I'm so far behind you guys in the chat. Oh my goodness. Walmart. Thank you, Chad. Thank you. These guys are going to town on that one. Okay, Super will tell you guys about the $1 million win we had back here on Walmart. Remember the chart coiling up? You guys remember this? Smiley faces, right? So we're kind of after that, right? So we're after this. It had a little bit of prior consolidation in here. You can kind of see it right here. And so all it did was it fell back and back tested consolidation. Very bullish close on Friday. So now I think it's headed up to this area right here. Let me go to intraday. Let me go to a daily. That's the weekly. So daily chart, same kind of thing. It fell back to support. You can kind of see it in here where it had prior consolidation and now we're falling back to support. I do like the close. I think it's highly probable that we run up here to 138-ish. But with that being said, I would not want to step in just yet because this could be a bounce. And I don't know if it's a bounce or not yet. I'd want to see the higher low and then give me a little bit better of risk versus reward, somewhere to put my stop loss, and then I'd be all for it. I love Walmart. Long-term speaking, I think it's a company you could hold for 20 years. Let me look at monthly. You know, just profit taking. Monthly time frame. Even there's a reversal candle. Now the month isn't finished yet, but I think it's probable or likely that we could push on up here to 139, 138 area. Daily chart, same thing. I think we'll get a little bit more of a bounce in here. Hourly time frame, we're coiling here, which is what we want to see. We want to see the smiley face. I think if we can get up through this gap, I think it'll be an easy gap fill. And I go on the closes. I don't go on the lows or the highs of the day. When I do a gap fill, I'm aiming for the closing print, not the closing or the opening print. So if I go back to the daily time frame and I look at this, so this is the gap up here, 139. Let's say we get above 139 for whatever reason. I could then be targeting the gap fill all the way up here to the opening price of 217, which would be 144. That's a little ways away though. I think the chart needs to consolidate, build up some energy to get above that gap. Yeah, I know. I'm at work when you guys are doing all this. I know. So, yeah. So the alert was posted. Is that what you're saying? I missed it because I was at work. Someone should have called me. Unbelievable. Four-hour arrive. I can't keep up with you guys. Is this the one up after hours? Look, the bid and the ask. The bid is $960 and the ask is $25. I like this behavior. I just want to see more. I just want to see more from it. Geez, $26? Oh my gosh. I don't know. Above $10, we're going to 10.52. Above 10.52, easily to 12.27. So there's a little bit of time in here, I think. Yeah, Walmart. Chad, we just went over Walmart. You gave it to me. Walmart, beautiful. I love it. It's gonna be in my alerts. Yeah, we don't like fraud. Well, we love fraud when it comes out that it's not true. Right? We love it when it's not true. Boozy. Love it. 23.16. Easy 23. Easy 23.24. I don't even care where it just came from. I'm not in it. Highly likely. Do I think we're going to hit over 26.08? I doubt it. I doubt it. Not with some sort of pullback consolidation. Unless some black swan or white swan event comes out that's like really good news. I think that it's highly likely that we'll see a little bit of consolidation in here. But although I've said that before on NEO and Tesla, and it's done the opposite. So consolidation. Look for the higher highs, higher lows. Dip. It's a buy the dip run right now. So we're buying dips. Coming tomorrow. I think we can buy a dip. Trading lightly because we're getting close to resistance, but buy the dip market. Yeah. Post that up in the channel. January 22, Walmart call last week. Let's roll. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. CCIV, my favorite long term. Nick, man, I got it. You got to get these alerts in the Discord. Let me find out you're putting these in the Discord, and I'm missing them. Okay, so yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that are beat down. You know, a lot of prior consolidations. We can see after the fact why it came down to these areas. Nice little pullback from. I can't even see the percentages. Nice little pullback from $64, 66%. We're in that 60 to 70% area. Know in your hearts, Bitcoin's going to do the same thing. Bitcoin, one day we're going to wake up, it'll be down 60%. Buyable. Buyable with four hands. I don't like the bearish consolidation on this necessarily as far as the larger time frame. But I like the daily chart. I like the hourly chart. I like the smiley face. Beautiful. I personally would look for a breakout over current price, maybe above $29.31, targeting this $40.40. I don't even know why that's on there. Probably shouldn't even be there. Probably target $33.27, $37, and then $42.95. Yeah, Jimmy was the best short of my life. Know that. Yeah, I mean, this is too much for me. I'm at a point where I didn't think it'd go above $100. Here we are, GME, $300. The days when the market used to trade with fundamentals is over. The market has been trading not on fundamentals for 10 years. Doesn't matter what the economy is doing. Who cares? Right? And these guys figured it out, so good for them. There we go. All right, love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Feel free to hit the like button if you gain value. Subscribe, bell notification, tell your friends, family, coworkers, family, dog. And I'm sure Silver's is running in after hours. RTY is up point, so IWM 0.5%. Silver. Beautiful. Up 1%. We might have a trade on this tomorrow. Check it out. Check this bad boy out. We might have a trade in here tomorrow. Oh, yeah. And for those of you who like to trade futures, let it come into resistance, right? Let it come into resistance. Let it consolidate. If it breaks resistance, but because of where it came from, it's silver, right? So because of where it came from, we've discovered that this is the higher low. Let it get through resistance personally, and we might have a trade tomorrow morning if we can time this right. With our luck, it'll be gapped higher in the morning, and it's a no trade, right, for me. But I let it get through that resistance. Let other people bring it up through there. I think we can easily begin targeting these upper areas. In fact, no, let's not even do that. But we could do this. Let's just stick with this. Let it get through resistance, 26.22. Let it get through 26.45. And then let's go take a look at SLV. And let's see what it does tomorrow. Right? Let's see what it does tomorrow. Let it get through resistance. Let the futures do their thing, and maybe tomorrow, Tuesday, maybe we'll have turnaround Tuesday. It'll give us that higher low. Let's be patient. QQQ after hours is oops. Why is this doing this to me? QQQ is up 0.5%, $61 or in Q. And so same scenario, right? I'm looking for a trading in Q. We can be patient, but remember this trade is coming off of this. We could have gotten in Friday, but it was a Friday, right? We're gonna wait. Let's just be patient with it. I'm willing to take a trade out of this resistance area tomorrow, or what I'm looking for maybe is a turnaround Tuesday. Wait for the Tuesday lows and then look for a trade going into the end of the week instead of taking a trade tomorrow. We'll see what it does. If it can give us the pricing tomorrow, then great. But if it can't, and we're gonna wait till Tuesday, let's trade less and not get killed. Let's YOLO it, right? And where are my calls at? Here they are. Here's the QQQ calls, right? I'm looking for this March 31 330 call. Okay. Because it's been beat down the last couple days. We got to be careful of theta. I'm actually going to look for one in April, so don't mind this March 31. We're getting too close for that. Maybe if it's a day trade. These are the quarterlies. So let's look for a QQQ. Maybe Carl can help us with this and see what we can do tomorrow. All right, dudes and dudettes. Thank you. Have a nice night.